We tried to fix the place up a little bit. I've been hired by the city to help restore this building. This theater is one of two that was made like an Egyptian temple. All of the Saenger chains, urns were big in the architecture. We had some workers here and they stole one. We have had some terrible leaks. All right, it's coming in from the alleyway. All right, we gotta stop that.
Do you ever run into any issues with, like, you know, any vandalism or people coming in? And...
All the time.
Really?
Yes. We've had to board that up so many times because people break into it. These are some of the tickets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they put those pipes and broke through the floor, and I screamed, "What are you doing?" And they said, "Well, we stopped the leak." Just little rooms. We've had people living back there. See the birds? Now, I've been coming here, I can't tell you, and it was only a couple of months ago that somebody else pointed that out. You have to kind of climb over that hole.
Wow. That is beautiful.
They say, don't scrimp on restoring it. Restore it back to its magnificence.
All right, good morning, guys. I'm here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas to do a tour of the Saenger Theater. Never been here before. I have no idea what the history is, but I'm about to learn. This wonderful woman, Kathleen, has taken some time to give me a tour, so here we go. Okay, Kathleen, I'll leave it up to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Since it's raining, we're going to work this differently. We'll start in the lobby.
Sure.
The Saenger, this building was built in 1924. It's one of the oldest of the Saenger chains of about 300 theaters that were built in that time period. The flagship theater is in New Orleans. It's magnificent. It's huge, but it's 27. We're 24. When this was built, it was considered the third greatest theater in the South. It was built on a palace theater design, which I'll tell you more about when we go into the auditorium. In the 50s, the Saenger brothers had lost, went broke, and so there was a chain out of California that were promoting movies. When this theater was built, it was still a vaudeville theater, and they did movies, but the vaudeville was the main thing. Well, in the 50s, they decided, people from New York, from California, to make this into a movie house, and they destroyed it, which I will tell you later how. And so they changed everything, and they made it into a 1950 look with these moon-shaped doors, and they took what would have been the magnificent box office of marble out. You can still see a pattern on the floor. This black and white marble was covered with pink linoleum. You can't imagine. And again, all that area they made in concession with popcorn and all of that. This area with these gorgeous, huge mirrors, softly focused, and then they put those silly things so that they could do movie posters. And really messed this Palace Theater up royally.
So these are left over from way back?
No, we did.
You did, okay.
We did film festivals for a while.
Gotcha.
Which I'll tell you all about, and so that was advertising our festivals. Basically, when I started working with the theater in around 1988, but then we did film festivals starting around that time. These doors are original with the theater. These were taken off so that people could get from them to the movie place, but we found them. So the original doors, all the fixtures have been stolen.
Yeah.
And so anyway, coming in here into the foyer, I'll show you when we go upstairs. This was originally opened with a beautiful chandelier so that the well-dressed ladies and gentlemen in the mezzanine could see who was coming in. It was quite the social event.
Right, wow.
What they did when they made this into a movie house is that They took all the chandeliers out. They cut the box seating off. They painted it all a dark color and just made it a mess. This was, you walked in and immediately you saw this wonderful chandelier, lights here and here. When it was made into the 50s, they put these, I'll show you what upstairs, these terrible wooden structure with neon lights. And so when I first started working here, a bunch of us decided, where do we want to take this back to? Do we want that 50s look with the moon-shaped door, or do we want to go back to the Palace Theater look? And so that's what we started working on. And the outside had purple tile out over the brick, and as I told you, pink linoleum there. The foyer here was really quite magnificent. They had bronze casing over the steam heating, which Killis Almond, who was past president of the League of Historic Theaters, said this was still the best way of heating these old buildings.
Right.
They had some type of generator in the basement that they did. And I'm surprised these are still here because people steal everything. So it had a beautiful casing, the chandelier, the stair casing here, the railings are still original. And you know, in the 20s, you had the Eiffel Tower, you know, 20, 30 years before in when was the Eiffel Tower?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so the big thing was these wonderful wrought iron structures. So that's still original that we have. So we'll go on in here into the orchestra.
Sure.
Oh, let me tell you, this theater is one of two that was made like an Egyptian temple. And we're the only one left of the Saenger change. So you see as it would be blocks, and it would have been a sandstone. And we had one guy here who thought he could redo everything, so stripped everything down, which is terrible, because in a lot of ways we don't have the original coloring of what things look like. And so thankfully, he left.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll show you some original upstairs. We'll go upstairs, but I'm going to take you this way
Yeah,
first.
sure. No, this is great. Just trying to take it all in.
Yeah, these are not original chairs we got when we were doing film festivals. There was a theater in Little Rock going out of business, and so we bought these. And we would clean the place up like you wouldn't believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Flooding in the basement.
It's flooding. Oh, fiddle. Well, take note of every place now. So we have had some terrible leaks. Hopefully we don't have too many, but anyway, it got to be so bad that, as you can see, it took the plaster off. That air conditioning unit was put into the 50s, and boy, did they destroy so much in putting it in, which I'll show you. Oh, fiddle-dee-dee. Fiddle-dee-dee. Oh, fiddle-dee-dee. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
All right, it's coming in from the alleyway. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, we got to get that. Look at that. All right, we got to stop that. I don't know how to stop it, but anyway. Oh. Think that's going to do it? No.
So
all right,
maybe
okay.
Like sandbags or something.
Oh, God. Okay, all right, well, all right. Okay. It is a constant struggle to keep the water out. All of the Saenger chains, the urns were big in the architecture. We had some workers here, and they stole one. Oh, look at that. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's a little.
Okay, we have to address that.
Yeah.
Yep.
boy.
Yep. Okay. One of the fun things that you'll see, And most theaters, you won't see this anymore, including the Perot Theater. Look, footlights. You know what footlights? Did you ever see 42nd Street? It was a Broadway
No, of the play, I haven't seen it
play,
personally.
or they made the movie 42nd Street. It was Ziegfeld Follies.
Yeah, okay.
All right, anyway, so some of the movies of the 20s and 30s, you'll see where they have the footlights, and you'll see that glow on the face around the proscenium here too. Well, when they modernize the buildings, they take that away, and they usually extend the stage out, cover up the orchestra pit, and I don't see why, because when you extend it out, you're in front of the proscenium, and you lose this. So we have a wonderful theater architect who says, all right, Kathy, said, we just got to keep our footlights, he says.
Yeah.
Do you want the theater restored as a museum, or do you want it as a functional, practical theater that brings in Broadway shows and it can be used to update into modern singers and all that stuff? And I said both. In the 1700s and 1800s, they had where they had cans in real life fire, and a lot of women, their costumes would catch on fire and they burned to death.
Oh, wow.
So it was very dangerous. Let me go. Hello? Hello? It's acoustically perfect. These theaters were, when they were built, of course, there wasn't any devices, sound of devices, and so people had these magnificent speaking voices, John Barrymore and Ethel Barrymore, and so they could project, and you projected to the last balcony. And of course, when you see old theater people, they're always with their chin inclining because they're looking up to the balcony. So this was the size of the theater's perfect size theater to accommodate, I think it was 1,200 people. Now they say because people are so much bigger that 1,500 would be your break off if you're going to do Broadway shows, to bring them in.
Okay.
And so a perfect size. The theater in New Orleans is bigger. The one in Texarkana is wider. Not quite as deep, but it's wider. Original lighting board there. Now you asked me a question, how did I get interested?
Yeah.
As a kid, I performed on this stage many times.
Yeah.
And I can remember the guy standing there and flicking this lever down, and you would be green or you would be red. I didn't want to be green or red.
Wow, and this goes right out.
I got to clean up. People come and they leave their stuff, and it just makes me. This is the original stage door.
Kathleen, I have to ask. I mean, now this is sort of open right out on the street. Do you ever run into any issues with any vandalism or people coming in?
All the time.
Really?
Yes. All the time. What made the Saenger Theater in Pine Bluff so wonderful is because there's a railroad one block up, and so the big touring companies like the Orpheum Touring Company,
sure,
they could just pull up right there, and then they would bring all their sets and come in. This stage is a Broadway-sized stage, and you see here the depth is amazing, and some of the original sets. There were a lot more. But when I saw that the theater was going to be sold to a monster, I said, you're not going to get these things. So I gave them to a circus, wonderful circus people.
Yeah.
And
theater sold, so a bad owner, I assume, or?
oh wait, you get people that are just jerks, and next thing you know they're stealing things out of it, and then they think they want to tear it down for the bricks. Ulterior motives. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't mention your name.
Okay.
Now this is a stage door that goes, and that's a mess, that goes to the goes to the alleyway. But we've had to board that up so many times because people break into it. This would have been very beautiful. That would have been your box seating, and then you could come in through the orchestra and then go up there into the box seating. But again, Mr. Young messed it up and so he just made it a walkway to come backstage and backstage. But in its day, it was very beautiful.
Right. Wow. Very, very interesting.
Here's some of the pulleys used. Many of them, so a lot of them have been stolen. How they had the pulleys here.
Is there still a curtain attached, like connecting?
No, no. When in the 50s, when the amusement people came from California, they stripped everything down, all of the curtains, everything, chandeliers, the organ. When we got an organ from the circus, a curtain, they're very famous circus people, where they were playing in Atlantic City. And so they were given this gold lame curtain, and it perfectly fit our stage, so that when we had our film festivals, we could lower the screen down, and at the same time the curtain would go up. We had it wonderful. And we had, you wouldn't probably know them, but Douglas Fairbanks Jr.
Sure, I recognize the name.
All right,
yeah.
well, his father was the famous Douglas Fairbanks, and Mary Pickford.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Van Johnson and Fay Ray, and Geraldine Chaplin, whose father was Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
And who else? Celeste Holm, Shirley Jones, Oklahoma, and Music Man, she did. Oh my gosh, who else? Celeste Holm. Oh dear. Farley Granger, Farley Granger. He worked with Alfred Hitchcock. Tippi Hedren.
Yeah.
We did the Birds, and we also
okay.
did.
I love that movie.
Yeah. So we had some marvelous people who were on the stage, and Ruth Warwick, Citizen Kane, Orson Welles.
Yeah.
All right, and she did a lot of television stuff. All My Children.
Yeah.
And I don't know who she played on All My Children, but let me say, talk about a presence.
I actually studied film in college.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I double majored in English and film studies for undergrad.
Well,
you definitely get exposed to like a lot of the old classics and stuff.
My
so
gosh.
Citizen Kane we watched. I like the Third Man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was great.
Henry, who was this? Harry Lime.
Oh, the Lime. Yep.
Harry
He
Lime.
was the third Lime.
Anyway,
yeah.
so yes, I think that there is an energy here. I think that there is a presence. Is there a phantom? The ghost hunters wanted to find a phantom. I said, there's an energy here, and especially you're here at total darkness, 3 hours. Carol Channing, she did over 1,200 Hello Dollies, and
wow.
I think they come in here and they established with every theater an intimacy. But there is a presence, there is an energy, and I think it's collectively all of the vibrational energy in the building itself. And I promised the building years ago that I would do everything I could to save it. And so I don't think I failed, because it's not totally restored to its glory, but it's still here. Oh, Lord. These are some of the tickets. Original ticket. Well, not the original tickets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I've got a popcorn. Excuse me, I keep this.
Oh, look at that. And so how old is this?
Probably since 1950s.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. You want a popcorn? I have popcorn.
Yeah. I'll rest this, put it right here, this stub.
Milk duds. Here's a. This is fun. Let me show you. Yeah. I kind of. Oh gosh, you can see the
Oh, wow.
Commonwealth
Yeah.
butter popcorn. I just leave it there until I can someplace to put it.
So during your time working with the theater, have you ever found a lot of like old artifacts, relics, anything like that that you've salvaged or?
Yes. And I'll tell you, I'll confess. See right where that little bit, there's that like window.
Yeah.
Now, if you see that there's light reflecting on the ceiling right there, okay, there was the last little flat chandelier. And so I have it at home in my attic. And when this place is restored, it's going to go right back there. I just didn't want, people come in and they take things.
Yeah.
And
that's a shame.
I had all this memorabilia, this paper memorabilia on the stage, and I think we stopped some people when they were stealing it. But then I chased after a man who has a lot of stuff, and I'm saying, you can't take that, it belongs to the Saenger. He says, oh, well, I like Coke memorabilia, here's a few dollars. And I said, no, it's here. I've been hired now since January, which is wonderful. I've been hired by the city to help restore this building now. Whereas before, since 1988, probably way before you were born.
Right. I'm 87 actually.
Oh.
I'm born in 87, yeah.
I just worked on here, and then you'll have people who, oh well, Kathy, let go, we'll take over it now.
Yeah.
And then they don't do a damn, thing.
Yeah.
And there was a group that before COVID, they were going to do everything, and then I come and I see the mess, and so I'm very lucky. The city now is saying it's worth saving, whereas for years they didn't.
There's another theater over there too.
My husband and I used to own that theater and here. And we had that theater, we really restored it wonderfully. And he died. We spent a fortune on it. You can look it up online, the new community theater.
Okay.
And I was going to change it to his name, his name. Anyway, there was a lien on it for some money, and I lost it. Let me show you now the front. You see two bits of architecture. The second story with the French doors, they were the same type of doors that were on front. And so you see what was 1924, and then you see the 1950s. And it looked really bad, so more than a few years ago, we tried to fix the place up a little bit and
right.
Make it look better.
It has that like historic, just like feel to it.
And what's so important about it is that it is an historically significant. It's a free, F-R-E-E, a freestanding theater. And so many of the theaters you're going to see are attached to other buildings as a part of stuff.
Right.
But this is how they used to build. Something interesting about these buildings, way back when they were built in the 18 whatever, they were 2 and 3 stories. Well, the town said 2 and 3 stories, that's so dangerous. We need to have it cut down to 1 story.
Right.
So that's why that was a beautiful bank over there, but you've got this flatness because some person thought, it's dangerous, 2-story building. The Zope Circus, a Geraldine Chaplin, and I've got other handprints. I thought that you put the stuff in cement, but I didn't know that it was a plaster you put stuff in. And so you ought to see us drying, getting the cement, having it dry, working with stuff like this.
Right.
Van Johnson, that's why his is so deep, he kind of fell into it.
Yeah. And Geraldine Chaplin is Charlie Chaplin's
Daughter.
mother?
Did you ever see the film Dr. Zhivago?
No, I should have though.
Omar
I know that's a classic.
Sharif
Yeah.
and Julie Christie and Geraldine Chaplin. Yeah. Well, let's go in here, and I'll take you upstairs.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to take you up this way.
Okay.
And this was the foyer, beautifully, beautifully done. Of course, it was carpeted originally. One good thing about giving tours is that the place is opened up and we can air it out a little bit. Now, I'm going to show you here. The mezzanine was, here is where they filled in, you see, and I said where the well-dressed ladies and gentlemen could look and see who's coming in to the auditorium. So they filled this out, but they talk about how beautiful, and the doors open, and they had these wonderful French draperies here. And the gentleman's bathroom had a big smoking room. So they closed it off because there's not very much room that you could go and smoke. And here would have been the hat check place originally. And then the women's bathroom, you can see broken stuff on the floor. And there would have been a maid in attendance here. But these was all, see how the ceilings were lowered? And
drop ceiling.
And so again, the 50s architect, and the marble stalls were painted black, and we tried to, get some of that black off. The leak, terrible leak, that I'll show you when we go up into the third floor. Here was a leak, and so they decided they would fix it by, which I'll show you how they did. They put those pipes and broke through the floor, and I screamed, "What are you doing?" And they said, "Well, we stopped the leak. It's what you wanted." The columns were originally round, and I don't know why they made them square, but they did. 50s. This is fun. See, when he made everything, I guess green, but you can see some of the original red paint.
Oh, yeah.
Coloring. So it's as I said, it's Egyptian temple with all their magnificent coloring. Just little rooms. We've had people living back there, which...
like squatting and stuff?
Yeah. That was a while ago. But anyway, Mr. Young had this as his office. And anyway, but all this would have been opened at one point again for to make the beautiful. You're welcome to go back there if you want.
Oh, is that okay? Just to poke my head
Oh,
in?
sure,
Yeah.
sure. Come on, let's go.
Sure. That looks like a ticket machine.
Yeah, sure does, doesn't it? And some of the 1950 carpeting.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. Saenger, Arkansas's, a few things like that left. But 50s, somebody's coat. Yeah, I can show you some original carpeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, do you need a flashlight? Here.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Okay, here.
There's, the film strips are still on the ground, probably when they had to splice or cut up some of them.
The round table's upstairs in the projection booth I'll take you to.
Yeah.
Some of the original chairs, which I'll show you, with the Saenger logo on them. See the S? Well, I'll show you upstairs.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. An old candy machine, too. Wow.
You can see here, oh yeah, you see what awful linoleum stuff they had everywhere. This would all have been carpeted, and then they put that stuff, horrible linoleum, and we took every bit of it off. Mm-hmm. And here would have been the original water cooler, and it was marble, like a Italian type of water fountain.
Right.
But this was the most modern water fountain. Well, the water would be very cold.
And when was that put in? In the 1950s, probably?
Yep. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And linoleum. All right, now now it starts to be spectacular. Again, from the bathrooms, you could walk this way into the box seating, upstairs, downstairs. Here's some of the original carpeting of the 20s. And I got to clean that off. Eventually, I will clean it off. And see that hole there? I did it. I was so mad at the air conditioning ducts, I thought surely they wouldn't have put it there. Well, they did, and I made the hole. Okay, what makes a palace theater is the horseshoe-shaped balcony, the organ chambers, organ pipe chambers, and the depth. We have an extraordinary depth to our stage. So that's one of the wonderful saving graces here. Now, I mentioned it was a Egyptian temple. Let me show you this.
Yeah, sure.
This here, you can't see very well, but those are your war chariots. Can you see the driver?
Oh, yeah, I can make out
and the horses. Can you imagine that would all have been, and see, look, you see that looks like an Egyptian kind of pharaoh's hat. Now, there's no missing stairs here.
Yeah, I'll follow you.
So, here, you okay with?
I'm okay, yeah. I can see because I got a little light here. I recall one movie we watched, black and white. It's called Sunrise, Song of Two Humans. That was a wonderful...
silent film.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
That was very good.
Ah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that since college, but I remember they showed it.
Who was in it? And also, I think The Wind. Wow.
Yeah.
Sunrise. Oh, God, yes. Oh,
yeah, that was a great
God.
movie.
Anyway, you see, they tried to steal our chairs, and that's cast iron and heavy as hell, so they left them.
Wow.
Now I want you to come down here and we'll come back up.
Sure.
But I want you to see this. We'll get back here, so don't worry. But right now we're going to turn around. Now, from this area, you see amazing, huge chandelier, teardrop chandelier. I think from Italy, where Italian crystal. So now walk up. Now you're walking up. Now this is 50s carpet. And you're walking up. Now get this, come on. Now look at the stage. Unobstructed, not a bad seat in the whole place. And in fact, since sound rises, you'll hear even better. Now I want to show you something. See that? That's original.
I was looking at that. Yeah.
I used to think those were keys, and I said, why would anybody put a key? It's a sword.
Oh, I was going to say, is that a staff of some sort? But yeah, that is a sword in the
and
hilt.
the laurel, the oak, what is the Caesars put around their head to make them Caesar? Oak leaves, laurel?
Yeah, it's like a laurel, yeah.
But now look, you see this here? Look, they're birds. for the handle. See the birds?
Yeah.
And I've been coming here, I can't tell you, and it was only a couple of months ago that somebody else pointed that out to me.
Yeah.
And then see that's so like a flame, so symbolically. And again, you see the, like the blocks, the Egyptian blocks. Now you see how this horrible thing just cut through all this wonderful.
It's sort of obscuring all that artwork there.
And you'll see where you'll see faces. Now here, you can't see it, but there's seraphims all around there. You can't see them because if we had a chandelier up there, you could, which we had chandeliers like there, that we just hung so that when we had people in, I could let people see the war chariots. I'll take you up to the projection booth. This way is missing some of the stairs,
Okay.
but it's an easier way. So, see, like here, I'll take you down another way, but going up here, it's a little bit shorter. Okay, projection booth.
Oh, look at that.
Well, once a guy was up here, you know, they had his bathroom and food because, you know, you don't want to keep going up and down, up and down. But you'll see the 32 millimeter projection cameras if you want to go.
I'll just poke my head in quick.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And then you can look from the window. Look here when you come back. Well, go there. Yeah, you have to kind of climb over that hole.
Wow. That is beautiful. Look at those old pieces of equipment. Yeah, I can't wait to take a picture of that. That's, wow. That's incredible.
Look at the view.
That's a beautiful view. Wow. Okay.
Now I'm going to take you across this way. It's easier, actually.
Sure.
Here. It's amazing how you come back. And now, theater history, Clark Gable.
Yeah,
All right. You just
absolutely.
surprised me. So many people don't know who Clark Gable is.
I'd say one of my favorite movies of his, it would be one, Mutiny on the Bounty, and yeah.
Come.
Okay.
Come. I mentioned that this was a presenter theater.
Yeah.
But in the 50s, I guess they came up here just for a while to do paint something special. Steel is coming up really far to paint something and bringing it down. But 1935. Come look. Clark Gable, Charles Lawton, Francois Tone.
Yeah.
Would have been Mutiny on the Bounty.
That's awesome. So that's the only movie, just a little piece of history, that in which all three actors were all nominated for Best Actor. So nowadays you have Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. But yeah, I think you can look that up. All three of them were nominated for Best Actor.
And who got it?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it was Clark Gable. I would have to look that up to confirm, but.
And Francois Tone. This is interesting. You can't see very well. 14 years, 12 years, 11 years. And so we thought, we'll look up Ralph Palmer. Well, Daddy, Ralph Palmer, was born in like 1880s, and he died 80, 90, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50. He must have died in the 50s, 40s or 50s. Well, his son, who 16 years and how tall he is, whatever, his son's dead too. And so this, it's not dated, We have things that 1951, 50 right there. And Judy Brown. I want to call these people up and say, Jimmy Douglas, you wrote on our walls. So many of them are dead now.
Yeah.
Well, somebody 96. And so my son decides, well, Mom, I want to write my name. So Tristan, my son, wrote his name on it. Take some pictures.
Yeah, that's okay.
You take as long as you want.
Yeah. I guess, if I could just ask one more thing. So personally, like, what do you hope to see the theater become, while you're still involved with it?
Oh, a working live theater that is part of the Broadway theater chains because of our perfect Broadway-sized stage. If you look at what the King's Theater in Brooklyn, what performances they have, I don't know these singers, these modern singers and all their lighting and these modern bands and whatever, but there are good people now. And whatever it takes to bring a variety of entertainment in here will do.
Yeah.
Movies, maybe a summer movie for a few weeks. Movies don't do it anymore. So to say a movie theater, no, this will get back to the theater. And most of the people that I talk to that have, like the Orpheum in Memphis, and Noah, they say, don't scrimp on restoring it. Restore it back to its magnificence, and then it becomes a big tourist draw. And people walk in and they go, oh, that's what you want.